Welcome to Unprecedented TV, the home of free speech, groundbreaking stories, and uncensored news and real debate. I'm Claire Dyer, and this is Dyer Consequences, the show that will give a voice to the voiceless. Today's story is one that cuts to the core of national identity and the creeping censorship of patriotism. We're speaking with someone who lost their job at a UK school, not for misconduct, not for poor teaching, but for hanging the British flag of all things in a country where that flag represents history, sacrifice, identity, our culture and unity, where that very flag flies over Parliament, government buildings and royal residence and international events. How does displaying it become a fireable offence? It's beyond me. How has it even become a symbol some are too afraid to display? What message are we sending out to the next generation? What does this say about our values that we're passing on to our schools? I'd like to welcome today my guest, Shaun Remmer, to the show to uncover what has really gone on. Welcome, Shaun.
Thanks, Claire. Thanks for having me on.
You're more than welcome. I mean, when you contacted me and told me what had happened, I'll be honest. I'm going to say I'm shocked. And then I always say, why am I shocked? This is the world in which we live in. But
absolutely.
I am shocked because you have been flying the flag and you lost your job. You need to tell me about this in more detail.
Yeah. So I think it's about 4 or 5 weeks I've been putting the flags up in my local town in Thirsk. And one day I'd got home from work and I had a phone call from the agency telling me that they'd been in contact by the trust that ran the 2 schools I used to work for previously, one in Thirsk and one in Northallerton, and that they do not want me back at their school ever again. And I was like, well, that's a bit odd. They were like, have you been putting flags up somewhere? And I was like, well, yeah, I've been putting flags up. Well, have you just put them in your house? I was like, no, I've been putting them around the town. He was like, oh, well, you can't be doing that.
Sorry, how did they know that you'd been hanging the flags? Because from what you're telling me, it's like they were asking you the questions, so it wasn't actually fact. Had somebody told?
Yeah, the agency is in Newcastle.
Okay.
So they're well out of the way. Now, from what I understand, that somebody's gone into the school and told the school about me to complain, and then they've gone and told the trust, and then the trust have contacted me. I wasn't even working for that school. I wasn't going to be going back to them schools ever.
Right.
There was and it was like, why do they need to make a point? Why do they need to come out and do this? It's like they wanted to come out and go, hey, we don't want anything like this in our schools.
So it was the agency that actually dismissed you?
So no, the agency did not dismiss me. It was the school that I was working at Welburn.
Right.
Now, they I'd been there for the Monday, gone to work on the Monday. I think this was a week later after I'd had this conversation. And I'd got home and he was like, oh, have you had a good day? I was like, yeah, it was really good. I worked with the children who needed really, a lot of attention. So it's quite a difficult day. And he was like, well, they don't want you back. I was like, they don't, well, my heart sunk. I love my job. Honestly, I love working with the kids. They're an amazing bunch of because you get to the school and they're like, Shaun, it's like, just warms your heart every day.
Yeah.
And he was like, they've seen you on your Facebook with your flags. I was like, right. He was like, well, they don't want you back. They don't want to be associated with you. It was like, are you joking? They haven't even spoken to me. It was like, it's like a knife inside you where I'm like a single father trying to make the country unite and be a safer place again. And you're getting criticised for it.
So were you warned at all or disciplined? I mean, did it break policy? So you didn't do any of that. Did it break any policy? Was there? I would hazard a guess that this wouldn't be in policy about flying the British flag, but So they gave you no warnings or a misconduct report, just instant dismissal.
It was just basically, we don't want him back. We don't want him back in this school. Now, I don't have any grounds for taking him to court or anything because I'm not employed by the school, you see.
Right. But would you not be a sort of covered, because under UK employment law, are they actually, could you argue that they haven't actually been procedurally fair in this?
I could look into it, absolutely. It's something I could definitely look into. Now, I don't know if you could get defamation of character because, they have hurt me in a way that I can't get another job in teaching because I went to another agency and they didn't want me because of what was happening in this school.
So this would be obviously one of your videos that I'm guessing they would have seen on your Facebook. And tell me, that's you putting up the flags. Who's in that video?
So that's me, and there's my daughter right there. She was carrying my flags for me in the backpack. Oh. And the person in the red top, she come running out of the pub, saying, "Oh, you can't put that up. You can't put that up." Well, I'd already put it up. And she was like, "We don't want to be associated with that flag." Unfortunately, we weren't recording at the time. And I was like, "You don't want to be associated with the British flag?" I was like, "Are you joking?" She was like, "Nah, we don't want anything to do with it." I was like, it's our country's flag. How can you not?
It is absolutely crazy because did the school and the agency, did they give you the reason why? They've obviously said you're putting up flags and they don't want to be associated with that. But what was their reason for not wanting to be associated with somebody putting up, the Union flag, George's flag?
I'm racist.
Right. So you're racist. Okay. I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Would you class yourself as a racist?
Absolutely not.
Why? Why would you not?
I have a half-caste daughter. I have a half Filipino daughter.
So the daughter is in the video helping you put up flags.
That's the one. Yes.
Right. And she's half caste, and there's your daughter there. Bless her. Yeah. She's so cute. She really is.
Oh, my life and soul, that girl. And everything I do is to make everything better for her.
Right. So this is the other thing I don't understand is that it almost feels that people are now being indoctrinated. There's a narrative that's been pushed out to make people think now or associate this flag as being far right racist. People are saying burn it, take it down. And yet when you look at someone like you who's now being accused of racist, who has a half-caste daughter, it doesn't fit, does it?
No, and the school knew I had Ashlyn, and they knew I have a Filipino fiance. They know all this, and it's like a kick in the teeth, and because they didn't even speak to me to ask any question about what I was doing, not one. And I know the lady from the agency. She was really nice. She was really good. The manager she was really, because she listened to me and she was like, "Well, after listening to you now, Shaun," she was like, "I can't believe they didn't speak to you because from what they're saying to me on here is not what you are."
I would say that is the case, but it also feels that people have just lost all sense of reason when it's come to this. And I was trying to sort of work out where this has been pushed from, and it's all sources really. It's been pushed out by our politicians, across social media, our mainstream media, and people are just absorbing that information and now have forgotten what the flag actually represents in the first place. So now they're associating anybody who puts it up as just this label of far right racist. You said so. You've obviously not appealed this decision, or have you sought legal advice over this?
No, I haven't done anything regarding legal advice. The thing that I feel is like the school, because I wasn't employed by them. I just felt like I don't have any rights whatsoever, and the agency haven't got rid of me. They've just said that they don't have the work in my area, which is, to be fair, they only have, because they're Newcastle and they came all the way down to the school where I was at. They don't really have a lot more around the area. And then the other two that are in my town and in North Allen, obviously I can't go to those as well either. So the 3 schools that are in my area, I cannot work at with this agency now.
So what is the studio are asking what's the robot in the background? I noticed that in your videos the other day. Actually, I was thinking, what's all this machinery he's got going on behind there? I'm not very technological.
3D printing machine.
It's a 3D printing machine.
Yeah, 3D printing machine. Yeah. It's making a mask of it.
I can't lie. I absolutely hate technology, and I hate the whole.
They're amazing.
I hate the thought of going into a digital world. So is that I'm laughing? Is that your own flag printing machine?
I tell you, I wish I could. That would be really good.
It'll probably be cheaper. It'll probably be actually cheaper because, and also, I mean, I was going to ask you, what are you doing for work at the moment?
So I ain't doing anything at the moment, unfortunately. I'm printing, and I do have a stall on a Saturday where I sell sort of crystals and sort of 3D printed toys and things like that, which seem to be doing really well. But that's all I have at the moment, unfortunately.
Yeah, see, I'll be honest, I am really shocked that any company, I mean, you know, it doesn't even matter who it is, any employer could actually sack someone for raising the flag. And I'm kind of now, you know, questioning what kind of message, well, what message do you think your dismissal is sending out to the general public?
I think it's just crazy. It's coming from the top as well. It's not just sort of like mediocre people. It's coming from the top. The top person in the country is labelling us far right, extremists, violence, and it's the furthest from the truth. And they're listening to this, and they're hearing.
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, it's interesting you say that because that is kind of the case. They are pushing out this narrative. Yet, if the studio can pull up a video that we actually have of Keir Starmer, our Labour Prime Minister, talking about how he feels about the British flag.
Well, I've got one behind me. Are you a supporter of people painting roundabouts and hanging them from lampposts? Look, I'm the leader of the Labour Party who puts the Union Jack on our Labour Party membership cards. I always sit in front of a Union Jack. I've been doing it for years, and it attracted a lot of comment when I started doing it. And in our flat, which is upstairs from here, as you know, we've got the St. George's flag in our flat.
So you're encouraging people to put up more flags?
I'm very encouraging of flags. I think they're patriotic, and I think they're a great symbol of our nation. I don't think they should be devalued and belittled. And I think sometimes when used purely for divisive purposes, it actually devalues the flag. I don't want to see that. I'm proud of our flag.
Wow.
Very, very interesting one that is, because what does he actually think? What are his actual values? Because there he is saying that he obviously, you know, is very proud of the flag, and they were at a conference not too long ago, and everyone there at that conference was sitting there waiting for his flag. Yet at the same time, he's pushing out a narrative that if you go and hang this flag, you're far out racist. What do you think about that?
Oh, when I saw them all at that conference, it was just like, are you joking me right now? I just couldn't believe they had the audacity to do that while criticising and calling us what they call us, and they're all there going, look at this.
So you've got a massive divide in society going on right now, which, you know, they've kind of pushed. But at the same time, you know, he's saying that. So does that now make our own Prime Minister a far right racist?
Well, he must be. He likes to do his flags, doesn't he? So there we go.
As I said, you know, if he's allowed to fly the flag and, you know, have the flag printed on his Labour membership, there you go. You know, that's London right there.
We should do it on everybody. We should do it in everybody's contracts and everything. Get the flag printed everywhere.
Yeah. And then there's someone like you who has now just lost your job as a single parent, and I'll add to, you know, a half caste child, and you lost your job from hanging said flag because you're far right racist.
It's ludicrous. I can't believe, right? I mean, I'm 49 years old, I can't believe that I am it's like you've woke up in a different place, and it's just not the country or the world that you lived in before. It's like they flick the switch and you're like, where am I? This is a complete different, it's like a multiverse. It's just the whole thing has changed, and you're like, oh, we all need to stand together now and really do something about what's going on.
It's become a very inverted world. It's like everything that was right is now wrong. Everything that was good is kind of now evil. It almost feels that everything that was a crime is now no longer a crime, and vice versa. Like everything is literally back to front.
Literally, you can't say boo to a ghost anymore. I mean, if I criticise a ghost online, I'll probably get arrested.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, if I do a nice nasty tweet about a ghost and I don't really like its outfit or something, you know, it'd be like, right, got him arrested. Because I mean, what they're doing to these poor people nowadays. I just saw somebody got 3 years for something. I mean, in Epping, I was just seeing that the 3 guys who did that, they've got more jail sentence than the guy who did the 14-year-old girl. And you're like, what world are we living at when somebody at a protest gets more jail time than actually somebody abusing a girl?
Yeah, I would say it's almost like kind of condoning that behaviour and desensitising us to it. We are going to go to an advert, and we're going to talk more about you being proud of flying our British flag.
Thank you.
We'll show more of shows that are also coming up. Welcome back. So that was another one of our shows here on Unprecedented TV, Live and Let Die, with our very own Mark Oaten and Lembit O'Peak. Welcome back, Shaun, our proud British flag flyer. I'm going to say, so, you know, yeah, it's happening everywhere. And the one that really did hit the news was Courtney Wright, the 13-year-old girl that got sent home from school. Well, she initially got put in isolation. She got sent home from school, didn't she, for wearing a Union flag dress on Culture Day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
She was told apparently by the school that it was her choice of clothes was unacceptable, and I think that was Bilton School in Rugby, Warwickshire. Now that went everywhere. That was all over the news. She was interviewed, her dad was interviewed, and the school did actually make an apology. Have you had any luck with mainstream media over what's happened to you?
No, I was contacted by GB News. They sent me a text. They'd been given my details by a journalist, and they'd asked me what had happened, and I gave them a brief description, sent them a video of myself telling them exactly what had gone on, and then nothing. I sent them the video footage of the council coming around to my house, and nothing. Didn't get when you get the tick went green, and like the Reddit, and you're like, can you not just say we're not running the story? Thanks anyway. But I didn't get anything, which was really strange. So I've had no other coverage, and it was great that you decided to do this for me. So
that is surprising, because they were, all the mainstream media were happy to take up, obviously, the story of the girl at the school, but they're not happy, clearly, to take up the fact that you have lost your job, which I think has far more implications, because this is your livelihood we're talking about. And they don't, for pretty much the same thing, really. Still the British flag, and there's Courtney there. I would say that, a lot of people are saying that GB News is, it is free speech, and they're telling us more than what the mainstream media are telling us. But it was seen that in this case they are actually terrified of free speech and British pride by the looks of it, or they've been told.
Well, that's the thing as well. I don't know whether it's got to do with schools. Well, oh, we don't want to get involved by what the schools are doing, and maybe it's because it's a special school that I was working at. You know, it's a bit dicey. I don't understand. I thought there would be, you know, really interested in doing a story like this, because it won't be just me. You know, this is the thing. It must be happening to many other people around the country, and you know, and something needs to be said about it and get it out there, and so that when a school is thinking about doing it, they'll be like, actually, no, this is on the news. We best not do this. We best just have a word with them and ask them to, you know, tone it down, or, you know, at least speak to the people.
Yeah, I would say that, you know, GB News, they started off really, really good. I think, you know, they were the news media that everyone was looking for, but very slowly over time, it's like a drip feed again. They have just turned to conforming like every other, you know, channel that there is there.
They're number one now, aren't they?
Yeah, and this is the one thing about unprecedented. And I know in my case, I'm determined that there is definitely not going to be censorship. I'm not going to get censored. If I get censored, I'm off. I'm going. I don't care. I'm gone. And definitely free speech, because no one's controlling what I can and can't say.
I mean, I sent them there was a video of the council actually coming to my door.
I know, and I was going to say, if we can ask the studio to pull up the video that we have of when the council attended your house, and then you can tell us a bit about this.
Yeah.
Dragon. Hi, is it Mr. Remmer?
No, he's not here.
All right. Does he live here? Or
He does live here, yeah.
I've got a letter from the council.
Right.
And it's basically, it's about, I think he's involved in you know, putting the on the coordinated thing.
Yeah.
It's just a letter from him, really, just to advise him basically to stop doing it.
Right.
So he needs permission to put him on our lamp post. So I wanted to hand it to face to face.
Yeah.
But am I all right leaving you the letter?
Yeah. He's at hospital with his daughter.
All right. Oh, sorry to hear that.
So, but yeah, I'll make sure he gets it.
Great. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
You know, what's funny about that is that it took 2 council members to deliver 1 letter.
I know. I just saw that. No, what? That's a waste of taxpayers' money right there, isn't it? You know, sending 2 council workers round to essentially tell you that you've got to stop putting flags up.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy.
And what? I was just going to say, what party controls your council?
Conservatives. Conservatives there, yeah. I do believe.
Right.
Say again, sorry?
I said conservative.
Yeah, it's not there either.
It's interesting that up and down the country, conservative councils are actually sending out different statements. So, for example, our council, which is a conservative council, they did actually say that they would not take any of the flags down, and we have a lot of them, and they would not take them down unless they were, you know, dangerous or unsafe or causing a hazard. I think the real reason is that I don't think they want to do anything right now that's going to jeopardize them losing being conservative, because I think they are very worried that there's a high chance they might end up losing to Reform.
Yeah. Well, they're losing everywhere. The amount of votes that they're getting in each election now is just, I don't think they would ever have thought that they could get as low as they are getting low as they are now.
Yeah.
It's not scandalous, but it's for them, you know what I mean?
Sorry, no. What statement has your council put out then about the flags? Have they actually put one out?
No, not that I do believe. I don't believe they've done anything. No statement anywhere. It was just basically given to me. They haven't put anything out anywhere. There's nothing on the Facebooks. Nothing.
Right. Have they been going around taking the flags down?
No. It's just some other people have done that.
Okay, so this isn't making any sense now. So we've got a Conservative council who generally across the board are not taking flags down. Many of them putting statements out saying that they will not be taking them down. Yet you have a Conservative council who have put out no statement whatsoever. They haven't hired a contractor to come and take the flags down. And yet they send 2 council workers round to your house to tell you to stop putting them up.
It's crazy.
It is, and there doesn't seem to be any explanation for that whatsoever.
In the letter, it stated that there'd been some complaints. Okay, it's probably. I mean, the amount of support I get for doing this around my town is just phenomenal. The people at Thirsk have been absolutely fantastic. I'm like in my local supermarket, and it's like I'm getting handshakes. It's such a nice thing because there seems to be everybody's coming together. I know, like at the local builders, merchants, like I'm told in the morning, they're talking about it. They're talking about the flags getting put up. And especially when I did the English, Welsh, Irish, Scottish, because I put the Ulster one up for Northern Ireland. And there was a couple of Irish guys, I was told, that have gone in there, and they're absolutely delighted that this is being done. So it's really creating a conversation, and people are really happy about it.
Yeah, we also have a video as well. The studio can pull this one up of I think you're in your vehicle and show all the different flags that you've actually put up. Because as you just said, you haven't just put up the Union flag, you've put up other flags.
And the Northern Ireland flag there. Obviously with England and UK. Oh, they look great. They look fantastic. It really does. And I've had like people who live around the area, because there's the school around the corner where my daughter goes. And a lot of the parents, obviously, they take the kids to that school, and they were like, "Oh, we came out this morning. It was like it gave us goosebumps to see the flags there." And it's like that to me is it's amazing. And the kids absolutely loving it. They're asking questions, like the Northern Ireland flag. They haven't really seen the Northern Ireland flag because they don't really have a flag. They usually use the UK. So it's something to talk about, and they can educate the children of why, or what has happened there.
So no one's complained in the UK or in England for you putting up the Northern Ireland flag or the Scottish flag or the Welsh flag. Had any complaints on that?
No, nothing at all for that.
And there we have the St George's flag. The whole thing is just complete and utter madness, and it really does feel that it's woke overreach. It definitely seems to be an attack on British values, and PC culture has gone too far, because we're talking about this, but how do you actually make any sense out of it? You have not committed a crime. You've done no harm. Your action was obviously off duty. There's no clear rule against it. Even under UK employment law, you didn't get given a verbal warning, a written warning, absolutely nothing. And the council, I'm really reiterating all of it, but the council have put no statement out. The council haven't removed the flags. You have put up every single flag that represents this entire island. You've probably had minimal complaints, as opposed to probably the majority of people loving it. The Prime Minister flies the Union flag himself and has publicly spoken out in support of and being proud of the flag. And yet,
boom, what's that?
Lost your job.
What's that there? It's disgusting, that. It is. I mean, how can you have 10 Downing Street and having, honestly, it's like my blood's boiling. It's just, it's like they've got a narrative because they're in trouble. They're really in trouble. And they're like, right, what can we do? What can we do? Right, we'll just call them all far right. We'll call them all thugs, no matter who they are. It doesn't matter. At the march the other week, there was 25 arrests, and they were all from our side. It was mainly the left there with a little tiny group, and it was a lot of them got arrested. And it's like 20. Was it last week? There was 500 arrests in the Palestine one. 500.
And this is the thing, the Prime Minister wanted everyone to fly a Ukrainian flag. So everyone was flying a Ukrainian flag, and that was also projected onto Downing Street.
Absolutely, yeah.
And now, everyone's kind of, well, not everyone, but a lot of people are in uproar, about this. It really, really doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
It's like they're sat there going, right, how can we annoy them today? Right? What can we do to these people? Anybody got any ideas? And they're like, and we'll sort of brainstorm with each other and have little meetings and go, right, yeah, we'll just do this today and wind them up even more to see what we can get out of them.
Mm.
I honestly, God, I find it absolutely crazy.
We also...
Yes, here we go. Sorry.
You say...
What on earth is that?
I know. But I thought, it was a legal right to protest.
Absolutely.
So what is repeated protest? Repeated protest for what? The ones that suit them.
Well, I think that's what they want, isn't it? So whatever they think and deem okay, that's allowed. Like, which I wonder which ones that they would allow. I can't really think.
On that day. That moves me on to sort of asking you, what were your personal reasons for flying the flag and going out and putting the flags out in your town?
So when I was seeing it in other places, it really gave me a sense of national pride. It really did. That's what I saw, and that's what I wanted to do for my town. And when I driven around some places and I'm driving down and I'm like, wow, this is absolutely amazing. Just driving down and the flags are there and you're like, this is national pride. This is what it feels like to have, to love you. Over these past few years, you just sort of like it's been declining and you've kind of felt like a bit, oh, what's happening, And then when you're seeing that, it kind of lifts you up and kind of like brought people together again. And I was like, I need to do this. Because I talk a lot on my Facebook and it's all right talking, but, are you going to do something about it, Shaun? So,
that's exactly how I got started, funny enough. I'm like, I can do a lot of talking. Now I need to put my money where my mouth is. And exactly. I was quite conflicted about the flags because I see the narrative and I see the psychological game. And I could kind of see this whole next part of it coming into play, which kick-started with the protests outside the hotel, which I've said, they've been there for 5 years. Why now? Why were media suddenly covering it when they hadn't covered it 5 years ago? So then people are out on the streets protesting. You start seeing these flags, and I could just see this narrative running away. So I was a bit conflicted. But what I also saw was that how about people, if they've got enough common sense, actually flip that narrative back on them. And like you said, it's not about being far right racist. It's not about just immigrants and them being in hotels and these protests. It is the final straw in a whole row of things that have been going on for many, many years, and people have had enough. And this was to show it. In my eyes, I was trying to say to people, look what's happening in this country. The elderly have had the winter fuel allowance taken away, cost of living crisis, taxes going up. People are literally being squeezed dry. They are just struggling all the time. The flags was a show of, almost a silent protest, but just to show just how many people are currently unhappy with everything that's going on in this country. And I'll be honest, once those flags went up, and I drive around, we've got flags everywhere around here. And as I say, where I actually live is Battle of Britain. We've just had Battle of Britain. It was where the RAF base was in World War II. And to see those flags literally across what was the RAF and our airports, I have to say it does. It warms your heart.
Mhm.
And I don't get the mentality of these other people that are buying into this false fed, pushed onto you narrative.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
and I want to talk about a little bit about, you know, how insulting it is for you to be called far-right racist, and how this is kind of quite personal for you, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it really does. It cuts me a core, honestly, to be honest with you. When people have commented and calling me, you're just, you know, a fascist, you're a Nazi, you're a racist. And it's like, I just, it really it does hurt, because as I want to make it a nice, better place for my child to live in.
Tell me about your personal circumstances, though.
So, yeah, I've been a single father for 7 years now. So it's just been me and my daughter. Now I do have a partner, but she's never been here. She's in the Philippines. For the past 3 years, I've been trying to get visas. Now, declined.
Why? Why are they being declined?
I can't get it. The first one was they reckon that she didn't send her business diploma, which we did. The second one, they said that I couldn't afford her to be here.
So I've been your daughter.
Oh,
So go on.
she's my life and soul, that girl. I do everything for her. I really do.
She's got a gorgeous smile. She has. Go on, sorry, carry on.
And I think the other one we did was they said that she didn't have enough ties in the Philippines.
Sorry,
like, she didn't have enough ties to the Philippines. Like,
I heard you. Sorry,
Oh,
she's a Filipino. She lives in the Philippines. Sorry, she hasn't got enough ties in the Philippines. What does that mean?
so basically, because she doesn't have a child there or own a house or something like that to tie her to the place, they don't believe that she should come over, because they think she won't go back. And they're really concerned about that, aren't they? They're concerned that she won't go back. Don't we have like an issue with that already, with people coming across?
Right. And sorry, how long have you two been together?
3 years.
And are you currently engaged, I believe?
Yes, we are engaged, yeah.
So and how long have you been engaged for?
So we've been engaged for 2 years, and you know, we've proved to them that we're in a long-term relationship. You know,
I again, shocked, not shocked. So she's been refused on at least 3 occasions. They give her multiple reasons. So something about business diploma, sorry. But the one I find the most craziest, which just feels like, we're just plucking things out of thin air here, is that she doesn't have enough ties. And I'm guessing she has family in the Philippines.
I mean, the brothers actually live with her. So she has 3 siblings who live with her. Now, if she just absconds, we have a problem, because they live with her and they would have no, you know, and this was all in the visa application. This time I paid for a company to make sure everything was there, everything was done correctly. And, you know, they were surprised that it was declined, and they couldn't understand how they had come to that conclusion. And I was like, well, they just don't want anybody in who really deserve it, you know, or like English people like myself, British people, wanting their loved ones here. They're like, nah, we're not having it. We're just not doing it.
Has this cost you quite a bit of money so far?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, it does. You know, it's not a cheap...
I'll be honest.
The last one was a visit. The last one, we're doing a visitor visa. I was like, we'll do a visitor visa. Try and get her in a visitor visa. Let's try and do that. Yeah, no, it's not happening.
But it's okay for them to come over by boat. Maybe she should try that option. She might have.
Yeah, I said that. I said, right.
Have you really?
We'll get a mustache on you, all right? Well, get a little beard, lass, and you know, stick it on. We'll be away. I just need to get into France. I don't know how I'm going to do that.
No, that's clearly what you need to do. People say it all the time, and it's not funny. We're laughing about it.
I know.
probably the reality is she would be far better off getting in a dinghy from France and coming across the channel, and she'll get put up at a 5-star hotel, and that's now being called racist. But here you are, and this is again how everything's flipped upside down. It's cost you so much money, and they're just giving you the most ridiculous excuses to not allow her in when you had a job, you've got a home and income. As you said, she's got a business diploma, so I'm guessing she's qualified in something.
Well, absolutely, she's not. She's not like a Philippine girl who's just gone, oh yeah, you're nice, come here, and that's lived in poverty and has nothing and blah blah blah. She's very well educated girl.
So she's not even costing the taxpayer any money.
Absolutely nothing, because
I know someone this actually happened to probably about 18 months, 2 years ago, and she actually married an American, and but obviously they decided they were going to still live in this country, in the UK. That's where she's from and lives. And no, he came over and they applied. It was turned down. He ended up getting deported, and that was enough for her to say, do you know what? I hate it here. I hate the way this country is. And that isn't being racist. It's stating the fact that she was actually married to this man. They had proved that they'd been together quite a while, and he actually got deported back to the US. And she's saying, and yet you've got all these illegal immigrants coming in, and we're all paying for them. And she just felt broken by it. Broken.
I mean, American citizens, they're not like going to be over here, sort of like scrounging offers. It's not that way sort of thing, is it? I can't get my head around what are they doing. There's a narrative somewhere. They're trying to do something. It was like, okay, let's say, right, let's create a problem, right? Let's get as many in as possible, right? And then we'll say there's a problem. We need to do. Oh, I know what we'll do. Digital ID. That'll do everything for us. That'll protect us. Let's create a problem. Give them a solution. Now, is that a reason why they're doing it?
It's always about digital ID, I would say. And when they actually really started rolling all of this out, it was all about digital ID. So everything that has been happening has been fabricated and manufactured by them to create the response that they are getting from the public. But what they need is, obviously, I would say, the public to be divided as well. And how do you do that? Well, they've done a really good job with the flag. I called it flag wars.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it is.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Was.
Flag wars. It is. It is. It really, really is. I had the 14-year-old girl. Well, she looked about 14. I'm putting flags up. She's sticking her fingers up at me, walking past. And I'm like, what are you doing? I was like, do you not like your flag? Then she just did it again. And you're like, what? The society, I mean, I don't know if I even blame her, to be fair, because it's the environment that they're growing up in now. They're getting pushed a narrative and an agenda, and they're growing up not even knowing who they are. There's no love for the country. They're not getting taught anything about their country and how to be proud of being British. They're getting taught love of the countries, be diverse, accept anything apart from your own national heritage.
I do need to tell you, because I don't know if you're aware, and I don't know enough about it yet, but my 12-year-old daughter did come home from school today. And is it Black Lives Matter week?
Oh, is it?
I'm really bad. I don't know. But you tell me it's Black Lives Matter week, and in form, every single class in that school, so we're talking from age, some of them 10, probably up to 16, were shown a video today that's been made by Sanctuary, and a lot of these schools are now becoming sanctuaries, and we have boroughs becoming sanctuaries. And the video they were shown about Black Lives, in reference to Black Lives Matter week, was actually showing them footage of the protest, or the march. I wouldn't say protest, the march the other week, and how this was racist, that it was obviously all aimed at illegal immigrants, and that how they appreciate how flying the British flag could be very scary for some people. And she was shown this today in form, this video. And I was just shocked. I need to find this video. I need to watch it for myself because be honest, once I've seen it, I'll be contacting my school because I'm scared to think that all of these children are being pushed one narrative that I believe is so incorrect that we're heading into dangerous territory here.
We are, definitely. They're going to push an agenda where everybody's just going to be clashing. There are going to be massive fights. It's going to be us against them. And we don't want to be us against them. We want to be all together, you know, as a proud nation. But they don't want it, do they? They do not want that to happen. They want to keep us divided. And
unfortunately, you are one of quite a few people. There's probably more people out there that are in the same situation as you that unfortunately has bear the brunt and the consequences of that narrative because you have lost your job. And, you know, as you said, you know, what I've just said about the video being pushed out in schools, maybe you might have a better understanding as to why, because obviously schools are following the narrative. So to then have someone working in the school that's flying that flag, even though you've done nothing wrong, you've got to go.
Yeah,
you know. So what we have actually run out of time. But what I would ask you is, you know, what is your message to those who accuse you of being racist and for being pro-British, you know, and the English flag?
Basically, look at my life. Look at who I am as a person, because they just look past that. They really don't see the person who I really am. And anybody who knows me is furthest from the truth. You know, proud British man who loves his country, who forgot his country. I'll be honest with you, I forgot. I really did forget until now, until I saw these flags, until it sort of resonated with me again to do something. And I feel that's what it's done for a lot of people around the country. And I think, you know, it's united a lot of people, and I think they're scared. They are scared. They're scared of us getting united.
I think they're trying to strip our identity.
Yeah.
Because for some people, the flag does represent, obviously, our history, our culture. It does unite us. And I think they seek to completely and utterly divide us.
Absolutely. And we will not be slaves, you know, and that's the thing, isn't it?
No. And a lot of people like yourself are being persecuted for that. And, you know, I'm sitting here racking my brains thinking, what can I possibly do? Because, you know, how do you get not your job back because you worked for the agency, but how do we appeal to your agency that this is completely and utterly wrong what they have done to you?
No.
Because they're changing the rules all the time.
I think they are. Yeah, they'll just do it to however they please, isn't it? They just keep changing it as to what they want.
Before the end, I do want to play the video can of Keir Starmer saying that he doesn't believe that Nigel Farage is a racist. If the studio do have that before we go.
Wow.
I don't know if they have.
Not just a racist.
No, nor do I think Reform voters are racist. They're concerned about things like our borders. They're frustrated about the pace of change. So I'm not for a moment suggesting that they are racist. I was talking about a particular policy and making a distinction, and a really important distinction in my mind, between deporting those who have no right to be here, legally here, which this government is doing, and I agree with, and on the other hand, reaching into migrants lawfully here, who've been here for years, working in our hospitals, our schools.
So basically what he was saying was that he doesn't believe Nigel Farage is racist and not our Reform supporters, because that's another narrative that's been pushed and linked, because it's all being put into one box. The flags, fly the flag, you're a Reform supporter, you're racist, Nigel Farage is racist, and you've just heard, whether it's a contradiction or he's changing his story to when he's talking and who he's talking to. He's clearly...
When was that?
Huh?
When was that?
This was literally a few days ago, 6 days ago, I believe he said this. So,
no way. I've never seen it.
So for those people that are literally following this narrative, Keir Starmer on 2 separate occasions, out of his own mouth, has literally said he is proud of the flag and obviously flies it, has it. It's on his membership, his Labour supporters, and at his conference, they're flying it like mad, like crazy people. You know, we're not allowed to do that. And now he's saying that he does not believe reform supporters are racist and noise Nigel Farage. So I would say, to finish, Shaun, that your union should not be sidestepping you, and that school owes you an apology, because even the Prime Minister is saying the opposite. And
the love of their Keir Starmer.
Yes. And these people all follow that narrative. Now, heard it yourself. And what comes out of the government and what comes from mainstream media.
Hopefully, I'll get back as well.
But you know what? I honestly, we have to get a plan, but I would love to find a way to try and do something. I mean, you know, the mainstream media should be picking up on this. It's not acceptable. You should not lose your job. You've committed no crime. It's morally wrong, and it's just been you've lost your job because of people's personal opinions of following and a narrative and being indoctrinated. It's as simple as that.
You are bang on. That's exactly what it is. They're following one narrative and they're listening to one side, and they just label you, put a little sticker on, and that is you, no matter what, you know, and it's wrong. It's all wrong.
Well, I want to say thank you, Shaun, for coming on today, you know, and sharing your experience. You know, being dismissed from your job, you know, it's not easy, especially in these circumstances.
Yeah.
You know, I really hope things improve. Honestly, I really do. And I would hope that they actually recognise how over the top this is and give Shaun his job back. So thank you for telling us your story.
Thanks very much for having me on, Claire. Appreciate it.
Welcome. You know, what we've uncovered today goes far beyond one classroom or one flag. This is about a growing hostility towards national pride and a dangerous double standard. You know, let's not forget Prime Minister Keir Starmer proudly displays the Union flag in 10 Downing Street. And as the leader of the Labour Party, that same flag is printed on party membership forms and campaign materials. It's considered a symbol of strength, unity and patriotism when it suits the political patriotism, even I was getting that word wrong, you know, when it suits the political narrative. But when a teacher or school staff member flies the flag quietly, maybe not so quietly, but with no political agenda, just because they are proud of the country they live in, it's suddenly offensive, controversial, or even a fireable act. So why is there one rule for politicians and another for ordinary citizens? It begs the question, what kind of message are we sending to future generations? That pride in your country is only acceptable when it's politically convenient, that your values are only tolerated if they tick the right boxes. So at Unprecedented TV, we believe in asking all of these questions because free speech is not a luxury, it is a necessity. And we are here to push aside. We're here to protect your right to have one. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Dyer Consequences on Unprecedented TV, your home for free speech, where we will have the conversations others mainstream media are clearly too afraid to have. So thank you for watching. I'm Claire Dyer. This has been Dyer Consequences on Unprecedented TV. So please subscribe and hit the notification button. But most importantly, stay informed and stay questioning.